All right, let's talk about those little things we do every day, almost without thinking. You know, that first coffee in the morning or that drink to unwind at night. We're going to explore a really simple but honestly powerful way to find a better, healthier balance with all of it.
For so many of us, these aren't just substances, right? They're rituals. That coffee is what gets the day started. That drink is the signal that says, okay, work is done. And in the moment, man, they can feel absolutely essential. But there's this little hidden cost that can creep in behind that immediate relief.
So here's the paradox, the real catch. The very things we often use to feel better, to calm our nerves, or to get a boost of energy, well, they can quietly be the exact things messing with what we want most, a steady mood and a great night's sleep. Let's dig into exactly how this works, one by one.
So first up, alcohol. You have a drink and you feel that wave of relaxation. That's because it's boosting a calming chemical in your brain called GABA. But here's the thing, your brain loves balance. So as the alcohol wears off, your brain overcorrects by pumping out stimulating chemicals. This is what causes that rebound anxiety a few hours later and totally torpedoes your sleep, especially that deep, restorative REM sleep. Okay, what about nicotine? A lot of people say it calms them down, but it's actually a full-blown stimulant. That feeling of calm isn't real calm, it's just the feeling of satisfying a craving. It's a trick. In reality, it's jacking up your adrenaline, keeping your whole nervous system slightly on edge, which just raises your baseline anxiety and chips away at your deep sleep. And then there's our good friend, caffeine. Caffeine is pretty clever. It doesn't really give you energy. What it does is block the brain chemical that makes you feel sleepy, called adenosine. It's basically putting a piece of tape over your body's low fuel light. This lets stress hormones keep running wild, which is where those jitters and racing thoughts come from. And even if you fall asleep just fine, it's been shown to devastate the quality of your deep sleep. And finally, marijuana. Yeah, THC can definitely take the edge off your anxiety in the short term, but it's a huge suppressor of REM sleep, just like alcohol. And over time, frequent use can actually blunt your brain's whole dopamine system. That's the system responsible for motivation and feeling good. So things that used to be fun and exciting can just start to feel a little meh. So, with all that on the table, what do we actually do? This brings us to a super powerful and universal way to make a change. And listen, this isn't about some brutal test of willpower or going cold turkey. It's about a rhythm. It's a controlled, patient process that lets your body and mind adjust without freaking out. It's a simple, 4-step beat. Step 1, just observe. For 1 week, you're a scientist. You just track what you're doing. No judgment, no changes, just collect the data. Step 2, make one small reduction. Not a huge one, just one less. Now here's the absolute key to the whole thing. Step 3, hold it. You stick with that new, slightly lower amount for 1 full month. This isn't a race. You have to give your brain time to go, oh, okay, this is the new normal. That's how you recalibrate. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? When you try to make a huge, rapid change, your brain fights back. It creates this intense rebound effect and cravings. But when you do it slowly, consistently, you give your nervous system a chance to gently adapt. That's what makes the change stick. Okay, so that's the big idea. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. How does this actually look in the real world? How do you apply this rhythm to each of these things? Let's break it down. Let's kick things off with alcohol. So, you've done your week of tracking, you've decided to reduce by 1 drink. Now, you're heading out with friends. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? How do you actually stick to it? The secret here is to make the decision before you're in the moment. Pre-commit. Say to yourself, tonight it's 2 drinks, and that's the rule. A fantastic trick is to keep the ritual but just swap out the alcohol. Get a soda water with lime in the same kind of glass. It looks the same, feels the same, and it totally short-circuits that social pressure. And another great tip, create some friction. Only bring enough cash for the drinks you planned on. Simple, but it works. All right, now let's talk nicotine. The exact same ideas apply here. Control your environment and create a little bit of friction for yourself. It's absolutely key. First things first, control your physical access. If your new daily limit is 7 cigarettes, then guess what? You only carry 7 with you. It's a simple rule that stops you from just mindlessly lighting up. Then figure out your triggers. Is it that morning coffee, right after a meal? When that trigger hits, build in a pause. Just tell yourself, okay, I'm going to wait 5 minutes. Go for a quick walk around the block. That tiny delay is incredibly powerful for breaking that automatic habit. Now for caffeine, which can be sneaky because, well, it's in everything. So that first step, the tracking week, is super important here to see where it's all coming from. So once you know your total, you make a small cut. Maybe 50 milligrams, that's about half a cup of coffee, and you hold it for a month. But here's the real game changer. What do you do about that 3 p.m. slump? Instead of grabbing another coffee, replace the ritual. Try a 5-minute brisk walk. Step outside and get some actual sunlight on your face. Drink a huge glass of ice water. You're swapping a habit that just masks fatigue for one that actually creates real energy.
And last but not least, how do we apply this rhythm to marijuana? The biggest idea here is to figure out the function of the habit and then find a healthier way to serve that function.
So ask yourself, why do I use it? If it's to fall asleep, the function is winding down. So you can replace that with a real wind-down routine. No phone, some light stretching, maybe reading a book. If it's for stress, the function is decompressing. Try swapping in a 10-minute walk or a simple breathing exercise before you even think about using. The key is to replace the behavior, not just leave a void there.
So, after all this patient, methodical work, what's the big payoff? What do you actually get out of it? Well, it's not about being perfect. It's about getting back to your body's natural state. It's about finding your baseline again.
And that's really the whole point. By slowly and consistently dialing back these outside influences, you're just allowing your body's own natural systems for mood and sleep to come back online. You're not adding some new magic pill, you're just removing the static so you can hear the clear signal that was there all along.
So, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. When you look at your own life, your own routines, what is just one small, consistent change you could make and then hold for just 1 month? It doesn't have to be some monumental thing, because as we've just seen, that one small patient change could be the start of a massive improvement in how you sleep, how you think, and how you feel every single day.